I'll update the. Okay, that's changed there. Okay, save that. Save. Okay. So that is 6 o'clock. So be sure to let me know when we're actually broadcasting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not yet.
So you're muted, Addie.
Oh. It's not yet. We're not broadcasting yet. We're just currently I'm streaming, but I'm streaming the picture of the starting soon.
Okay. Cool. And that's what I said. Just make sure to tell me when we're doing that.
Mhm.
No, I don't want to share this tab instead. Stop it.
Tell me when you want me to do that, because it's up to you.
Oh, we are that close, are we?
It is currently 6 o'clock. You can tell by the
Well, I know
sound.
it's 6 o'clock, but we're all set to ship it out, right?
Yes, and they can hear the
They
audio.
were saying that they can hear you through the stream.
Now the question is, can they hear the rest of us?
That's a good question.
Bella left
Annabelle?
a comment on the stream that says we can hear you, we just can't see you.
You can't see any of us.
That's a good
Well,
thing.
that's because it's got the starting thing on the live stream.
Okay.
I do not believe they could hear any the rest of you. That's why I was
They
muted.
can. I'm on the. I heard myself
Cool. All right.
delayed.
How?
Because that's the other thing, Addie. You should put in headphones. Wait, you have headphones in. Wait, what the heck?
Yes. Affirmative, Desi. What the heck?
Frank froze.
Then what am I hearing the echo of? They can hear
I
me.
see you moving, Frank.
I love this. I really love this. I'm living for it.
They can hear me? Why can they hear me?
It's possibly okay.
Oh,
How?
they can hear the sound of the presentation.
Wow.
That's why.
Wow. Okay. So I'm also gonna have to throw this up real quick because it just finished downloading. Throw up Desi's film. Okay.
Yeah, I see Frank moving.
Okay.
Here we go. This should
I've got
work.
one more thing to do, and then I'm. Oh.
Hmm?
I've got one more thing to do, and then we could start if we're all ready. Just
I'm
one
never
second.
muting myself. I just want you to be aware of that.
Why is she playing? I
There
want
it
to.
is. Okay. So I'm ready. I guess. I mean, if other people are.
Yeah.
So you do want us to say something about the students?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll listen to you for little cues when you're about to say the student's name. And
And
that'll give me the ability to click to the next slide to show their name.
Before we say the student.
Yeah, I'm going to try to listen and pick up on your cues that you're about to say the student's name. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, look, I see us. Here we are. All right, so we're ready to go? I take that as a yes. So I want to welcome everybody to our 2020 activity letters and Bravo Award ceremony. And as you can only imagine, it's 2020, but this is the COVID-19 version of everything. So what we're going to do here is we've tried to, as much as possible, keep the presentations kind of like we've done them in the past. The structure is the same, the order is the same, and The one difference, of course, is that we, as Frank asked us earlier, he asked what we had for the potluck, and of course, unfortunately, we didn't have the potluck, so there it is. But there's next year. So the other thing I want to mention to you guys, of course, is that as we get started, that just a little shout out to the folks who really tried to. Number one, no one over the age of 30 should ever say shout out. That's rule number one, but I just did it anyway. And rule number two, I'd be remiss in, and I'm going to say this later as well, but I do want to say something about certainly the staff, and I'll talk about those lovely people in a bit, but also the work that Addie has put into this, putting this together. I participated in the Island Readers and Writers, or the MDI High School Readers and Writers activity back in the spring, and was very impressed with how they did their presentation. And so I asked Addie to step in and spearhead this, and she's done a really great job. And Gray is certainly, as we always depend on Gray to do, has stepped in and provided some really important tech support. And we are going to see a little bit later a documentary film that Desi put together. And I will not lie to you, I've already seen it, and it's not going to make it any less cool to see it the second or third time, because I really very much enjoyed it. And I had to admit to Desi after I watched it, it made me cry, and that doesn't usually happen. So, so it was really lovely. We're going to stream that after the presentations themselves, and hopefully you guys will stick around for that. And it's well worth it, absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with presenting activity letters, honor pins, and honor thespian awards. And normally I present all of these at a normal presentation, but I've asked Chris and Frank to step in to help out with this, just given to the how unusual our structure is this year. So with no further ado, Chris.
Hello. Activity letters are awarded at the end of sophomore year to students who have collected at least 20 points through their participation in productions, whether on stage or through tech. And it also is dependent on basically good attitude, positive attitude, really good sportsmanship. So, freshmen can earn points towards this activity letter, but they are not awarded at the end of freshman year, and forms are submitted documenting the accumulation of points. The first awardee of an activity letter this year is Chloe Bolt. Also earning a letter this year is Finn Hansbury, Katrina Hardy, Ruby Mahoney,
Woo!
Claire Sanner, Logan Wilbur, Matt Wheeler, and Stella Walk. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you for your hard work.
The MDI Drama Honor Pin. Oh, by the way, hi everyone. These are awarded to students who have earned an additional 20 points after having received the honor letters. Now, some of the following students are receiving both a letter and a pin, and we'll see that as their names come up. So, without further ado, the first honoree to receive a pin, and a letter and a pin, is Molly Collins. We also have, sorry, I'm behind on my, Maggie Murray receiving a pin, letter and a pin. Alexander Shepard receiving a letter and a pin. And those students receiving their honor pin who've already received their letters are Colby Bennick, Sage Dantrama, Haley Leonardi, Moxie McBrady, Alex Debnesny, TJ Willis, Laura Yaden, Winslow Jeffrey, Geneva Stevens Rosa. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Chris and Frank. So now, you might have noticed on the slides earlier that we've only been awarding letters and pins since 2011 and 2012. So the Honor Thespian Award was established in 2014, and that was with the hope of being able to honor those students who have committed to the drama program over the course of 3 or 4 years. And not only that, in multiple seasons in each year. And so it is an award only for seniors and seniors who have earned a total of 50 activity points total at the very least. And I always like to take one quick second to talk about what the design itself means. And you can see that the award itself looks like a compass rose, looks like a compass. And when I was putting this together, I was thinking about looking at 4 different aspects of theater. And I thought about how no matter what we do, we have to work from a plan, right? An initial plan. We have that process that we're all so familiar with in terms of the rehearsals and all of the stuff that happens back in the scene shop and everything else, the product itself. And then we cannot dismiss from that process the people themselves, not only the performers, but also the audience as well. There was some talk this year about trying to hold one-act states even without audience. That was one idea that some directors were kicking around, but several of us felt that wasn't necessarily a very good plan because performing theater in an empty house, I don't know. I couldn't wrap my brain around that and make it something that it seems so integral to the process. So our honorees this year, and we have a lot of them because this is a dynamic senior class, of course, are Peter Benson, Raul Blackett, Athena Addie Brown, Piper Sharon, Lily Cricklear, Ashley Graves, Eric Graves, South Graves, Kaylin Hanley, Aiden O'Connor, Anna Redgate, Julia Rush, Katara Shelton, Gianna Turk, Zach Uliano, Desiree Zaman, and Evelyn Zumwalt. So congratulations to those folks. I've been talking about you guys, well, basically since you were sophomores for sure, about what a huge and amazing group of guys you are. And I can certainly say those things at the end of your senior year as well, which is very gratifying. So now we're going to move on to, oh, there we go, the Performance Caption Awards. And unfortunately, we only have 2 seasons to discuss. And that is, of course, the musical and the one act. So we're going to move on with the musical awards, Mamma Mia, and I'll let Frank and Annie, who's here, do the honors.
So I am the outstanding pit orchestra member for the fall musical Mamma Mia. And as it was my first year as music director for the fall musical. I was very fortunate to have this student as my right-hand man, and he stepped in and played an instrument that he would not normally play and did so with aplomb. And I am very happy to present this award to Peter Benson. Yay! Thank you, Peter.
Well, thank you, Annie. And now we're going to move on to, well, Frank. Here we go.
Oh, I am not on mute. Well, Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Oh, no, that's the sequel. We haven't done that yet. But it was a fantastic experience. It would be wonderful if we could honor the entire cast because you all deserve it. You are all, as they say, dancing queens. And it was just a wonderful production. But we'll start with our outstanding performers in supporting our ensemble roles. And those are often a lot of fun. You're the wisecracking kid, or you're the person leading the group. You're the person who probably gets the best lines in the show because they're saying something smart or funny when the other actors are trying to be serious. And this year, for their performances in Mamma Mia, outstanding performers in an ensemble or musical role, the awards go to Rex DeMiro and Desiree Zama. Congratulations. Now for outstanding performers in leading roles, I am pleased to announce that those people receiving the awards this year are Alex Stebnesley and Finn Hansberry. Congratulations to you both.
All right, thank you, Frank and Annie. So we're going to move on to our one-act honors. And of course, this is the only time I've ever chosen a play, I'm pretty certain, in which I literally had to stop every time I said the title of the play and remember exactly what the title of the play is. Because as you can see there, in fact, the cast members were usually having to correct me as to the title of the play because I could never quite remember it. That's because they have young, agile minds and I have an old, addled brain. So there we go. But it was honestly a wonderful experience. This was a real challenge for us. Certainly after last year, it's never easy to come back from a production that didn't quite work out the way that you wanted it to. But then my feeling was, as you know, when you guys were freshmen and we did Mary Gerard and we had the huge turnover of seniors, and I remember having this conversation specifically with Gray, and I said, so what do we do? And Gray said, we don't let up. We have all these new tech kids, but we do not let up. And so we didn't. And I felt like the best thing to do was to give ourselves a real challenge, and certainly a cast twice the size of what we normally do, you know, and the physical acting that was required of you guys, and the tech, which was certainly no less complex. In fact, in so many ways, it was much more complicated than what we've done in the past. Was a good plan, and you guys performed absolutely admirably. So there's a lovely photo of us all. And I was reflecting on this when I put the slide together. I said, that looks like a musical cast.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. It's such a huge group of people. And I looked at the photo from Mamma Mia and I looked at this photo and I said, geez, I mean, yeah, there are fewer folks in this picture, but not very many. So that was quite an amazing, and I'm not counting the babies in the middle that the tech guys are holding. And that adds a lot of people too. But it was just a wonderful experience. So I want to quickly recognize, when we send out your certificates to you guys and the medals and everything else, certainly one of the things that will go out will be the regional all festival cast and special commendation certificates as well. So as most of us, we probably all remember, but it was a long time ago, March, we had 4 all festival cast members: Raul Blackett, Rex DeMuro, Ruby Mahoney, and Zach Giuliano. And it's always exciting to have anyone recognized, and certainly when you can have 4 people recognized from a cast, that's quite an accomplishment. And even a cast as large as our cast is, it's quite an accomplishment. And then other special commendations this year, all deservedly so. Outstanding set construction. That's one thing that I'm always so pleased to see, is the recognition, as we've seen in previous years and we saw last year, in terms of the scenic work, the backstage work. It's, as always, was exemplary. And the construction of the set itself. Outstanding physicality and choreography for Moxie and Anna and Desi. And when I was initially doing the casting, I was so excited to be able to see, when I sat down and had looking at the auditions and such, and saw that there were these 3 lovely roles, all sisters, and I was able to cast those 3 wonderful people in those roles, and they worked so well together. And I think that's what made it work so well together, was that they know each other so well, and it was just a delight to watch. And then, of course, outstanding video design and operation for Piper and Laura. And one of my favorite things still is that photo of Piper and Laura hugging at the award ceremony. It's just so lovely. It was just such a wonderful moment. I mean, every year I feel like we are recognized, and Piper is recognized as well. Piper should be, for the outstanding video work, but this year was exceptional. I mean, and a challenge, a huge, huge challenge. So well deserved all. Thank you. So the way, because of the size of the cast, we talked about offering supporting role awards and leading role awards, which is what we ended up doing, rather than how we might have done things in the past with this cast. Usually when there are only 7 people in the play, you don't really give 4 awards out. So there it is. But I think it was the right decision. Certainly we had actors in leading roles, actors in supporting or ensemble type roles. And the 2 winners of these honors for supporting role are Rye Dillon, for playing not 1 but 2 roles, it turned out. We might all remember that. And Haley Leonardi, who did not play 2 roles, but when she was trotting around the stage like a horse, she took up enough room for 2 actors to fill that space. But that's okay, because that's what I told her to do, and she did a lovely job. It was so great. So, and this was a play that very much was built upon those outstanding individual performances. So now, moving on to outstanding performers in leading roles. This is, as I said before, all of this is so bittersweet, because we are saying goodbye to such an amazing group of seniors. But in this particular instance, I had a very tough time filling out the ballot myself, because it was like, how do I choose? And I think the first go around I might not have, and I think I had to go back and really do some thinking about this. But when it was all said and done, and when the tallies came in, it wouldn't have mattered to me who ended up winning. Anyone would have deserved the honor. But our outstanding performers in leading roles in the One Act this year are Raul Blackett and Anna Redgate. And so congratulations to those 2 folks, and the wonderful work they did. in the One Act this year. So thank you very much. Now, as we're moving on, there's actually breaking news at this point, and so I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
So, the last time we went to States, we had little cat hats for everybody. And this year, although we didn't have our opportunity to actually travel, Mr. Rush and I had spoken about this early in the fall, and playing on the theme of football and sports, I have made hats for every member of the cast and crew of the One Act in the shape of your traditional sports watch cap with our little MDI Drama emblem, and there is a little tiny label on the side. The Jack hats had state championship written on it, but since we didn't get that opportunity, we still have our glittery side label with the name of the production of football and Happy Thanksgiving written on it. I spent a long time looking at pictures of your heads, hoping that I got the right size. So fingers crossed, let me know if they don't fit. Tech personnel will get one with black on the crown. Everybody else is going to get a variant of green and gold, white and black, which are our school colors, and also happen to match Wisconsin's colors. So it matches the play, too. So that was fortuitous. So congratulations, everybody. We thought it might be fun if we could all travel to States wearing team hats. But now you just get to wear your team hat and remember where you came from as you spread out across the world. So congratulations, everybody.
And thank you so much, Chris.
Thank
Now,
you,
I'm
Chris.
assuming that's Rosie, right? Is that Rosie?
My model is Rosie.
She's not included with the hat, right?
She is, unfortunately, no.
Well, there you go. But
I did make one for Lai's partner.
Oh, how lovely. For Sarah Peach. That'll make Lai very happy. So that's
right.
good.
So there'll be two in that package, and Lai, don't get confused if it doesn't fit.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. So I've been wanting to. When we ordered away for the little drama round patches, they finally showed up in the midst of the COVID-19 craziness, and everyone was terrified to touch the box. I remember that distinctly. And the people in the main office were like, "Should we microwave it?" I said, "Oh, let's don't melt them. No, we'll just have to let them sit there for a while." So, but thank you again so much. So now we're going to move on to the Tech Caption Awards. And for those, I am going to turn it over to Gray and Carly.
Alrighty. So, I gotta say, we started the year a little terrified, figuring out where we're gonna go next. And holy moly, have we been amazingly surprised and just blown away by the incredible individuals that came in. So, this one, Best New Tech, is someone that came in, and more importantly, is someone that is recognized by their peers as really having contributed and become part of the group and really, truly getting what makes this program work. And without further ado, I really am so very happy to award this to Celeste Brown. So amazing. So happy to have you on board. And good competition too. So I'm really happy about that. But you earned it. And then for the next one, because Carlene and I divvied these up beforehand, Most Improved Tech. And I told her I wanted to get this one. I wanted to say this one. This is another one that you've been recognized by everyone you've worked with, that you've just come miles or kilometers, take your pick. And yeah, just watching the difference of year by year, what you've come into and have gotten awarded for as well. So it's not just us that recognize it, it's the artistic community that you've become a part of. So I'm exceptionally happy to award this to you, Laura Yaden. Well done, well earned. All right.
So I get to take it away. From the moment I met this person, their high level of creativity and talent clinched my thought that they were going to be extremely valuable to this program. The amount of, I'm getting verklempt, you guys, the amount of professionalism and acuity belies their age, and they've made an excellent start on a promising career. I want to thank this person for their consistency and excellence in performing their theater magic. And I wish Piper Sharon the utmost respect and pride and continued success. Congratulations, Piper.
Okay, thank you, Gray and Carlene, and congratulations. So now we're going to move on to the Special Achievement Awards. And of course, these are always tricky because we ask students to make nominations, and then the staff comes together and determines the most deserving individuals based on student nominations. And so we're going to start with the Ashley Littlefield No Small Actor Award, and I'm actually presenting this one. And as many of you know, and we hear this each year at the Bravo Awards, Ashley Littlefield is the daughter of our beloved Wendy Littlefield, who's worked for the high school for ages and ages, and is, I can say, without any fear of contradiction, the hardest working person at MDI High School. And Ashley was a beloved student in theater, in show choir. She was a dancer for years in the area, and she died sadly not that long after graduating, too young. And so this award goes to a person who takes on what otherwise doesn't really seem like a massive role to begin with. Sometimes people win this award and those people never even say a line on the stage, or they never really take on a huge task with tack. It's something very small, but it turns out to be something absolutely essential. And I would say that's the case for this honoree. This person had no lines whatsoever, and this person basically had to make up everything they did on the stage, and it was it forced me. I was reminded at senior speeches, it forced me to say something I probably shouldn't say in front of students that I will not repeat right now, because I was so moved by this student's performance at one of our last rehearsals. And so this year's recipient is Alifair Faye Durand. Congratulations. And now Frank with the Super Stand-In Award.
Just getting myself off mute. The Super Stand-In Award. Our description is awarded to the actor, actress, or tech who stepped into a role or job at the last minute and made a great positive impact on the production. You know, as an actor, you're involved in a production, you've been rehearsing, and in the professional world, you might be also assigned the job as an understudy or standby. And you add that to your workload as you're rehearsing what you're cast in, but also following the blocking, the direction, the choreography, if that's the case, of another role in case that actor can't be at a performance. And I know that personally. I spent many years in the professional theater as an understudy and rehearsed and stayed up on the role, but never got a chance to perform it. So imagine yourself waking up the morning of opening night. You're all prepared. You think, done a great job. I've rehearsed my role. I'm going to go in there and just knock him dead. and you get notified that, oh, a certain situation has come up and we need you to step into another role. And this person got such a notification, and by the evening, by the time the curtain went up, walked out as if they had been rehearsing the role since day one. And of course, the person getting this year's Super Stand-In Award is Lai Dillon.
All right. Thank you, Frank. And now we're going to move on to the Super Spirit Award presented by Chris.
The Super Spirit Award goes to an actor or a tech who shows spirit and enthusiasm during rehearsals and performances. I've worked with this person for many years. In fact, going back to Connor Emerson. This person could have been stuck doing stodgy old men roles, but the versatility of his very malleable face and his willingness demonstrated in Black Comedy to throw himself off of furniture and leap in the air like a madman just begins to show how much spirit Zach Liliano really has. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Chris. And congratulations, Zach. So now we're going to move on to the Lauren Cooper Super Trooper Award presented by Carlene.
I love the alliteration. This is awarded to an actor, actress, or tech who overcame great personal obstacles and persevered through the production. This young man certainly met great personal obstacles and overcame his struggles to persevere. He was consistent, showed up, and kept his sorrows under control, and he lasted through me. I'm very proud to announce this year's recipient for the Super Trooper Award is Aidan O'Connor.
Thank you, Carlene, and congratulations. And now we're going to move on to the Director's Leadership Award. And this is an unusual award in as much as ordinarily, when we first started awarding this, we gave it to seniors, and that's generally how it works out. It doesn't always work out that way, however, nor has it always worked out. I think like Mary Paola won the award like 2 or 3 years in a row or something, so, and she's hardly the only one, and we've certainly had our share of sophomores and juniors winning the award. So basically, this is the way I did it in the slideshow is a little tricky, but I would like Carlene to present the first two, and then Gray the third one, and then I'm going to present the fourth one. So is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Okay, so that being the case, I'm going to let Carlene take it away, and I'm not going to switch the slide until you talk about the first one, and we'll leave that one up, and then you'll talk about the second one. Okay, so take it away.
This first award goes to a young man who has gone above and beyond my expectations. He would take on some projects, create them by himself, show me, and we threw it right into the set. He's exceeded everything I've asked, except for the arguing part. That's still a challenge, and I'm going to rephrase that for this upcoming year as an intellectual challenge for both of us. This outstanding leadership award goes to T.J. Willis. The second award that I'm giving is going to a young woman who met with a great deal of strife, yet stood fast and proved that she's a great friend, a better leader by example. I often thought that she took on way too much, but she, I'm proud to say, proved me wrong at every turn. I want to thank Kaylin Hanley for her great leadership.
Okay, so the next one. This is someone that honestly it's meant a lot to work with them because it is one of those exchanges where you realize over time you are meeting an equal. You are absolutely on the same page and you can totally trust what they're doing. There's always the next challenge to overcome, but with a couple of side eye glances and a few other grumbles, I know that both of us are going to get the job done. So this is a case of just an amazing 4 years that I've been able to trust the smooth operation of the one act two each and every single time. It was always a question of when it's going to click, but never a question of if it's going to click. And we have done some amazing shows. Be proud of that. Julia Rush, you have earned this so much. Well done.
Thank you, Gray, and Carlene for your presentation. Um, so my presentation is to another student who has been involved with the program for all 4 years, and a person who I would absolutely often be lost without turning to that person and knowing that I could turn to that person and ask them to do this or do that or handle whatever needed to be handled. And as Grace said earlier, it would be done with maturity and professionalism and with enthusiasm another student who's going to be very difficult. We'll never replace these students, but to find someone to even step into this kind of role, it's a tough one. And so I'd like to honor with our final Director's Leadership Award, Desi Zaman. So now we're going to move on to the Silver Torch Awards, and Carlene and Gray will be presenting those. So take it away.
I believe I have the first one, correct? All right. Okay, first, we got the cussing under control. Then we harnessed that intense energy and focused it toward her special talent, sound. Who would have thought? This young woman has received numerous awards. And I just hope, Addie, that you see that this award is evidence of how very special you are. And I thank you for your time with us. I kiss you back.
The best part is seeing Addie's reaction in real
Yeah.
time. That was wonderful. Okay, next up. This is another person that, for me, came out of nowhere and stepped into some of the hardest jobs out of the gate, as far as I was concerned, and has just blown me away all 4 years. And also, super important is to note how much they have pushed the entire program forward, not just on the technical end, but also interpersonally, and also just making sure that everyone had a place on the tech crew. So I'm very proud to award this Silver Torch Award to Piper Sharon.
Okay. Youthful, exuberant, passionate. All of these words describe this person. I would use kind, thoughtful, and steadfast. Most importantly, committed and worthy of praise. This silver torch goes to Kaylin Hanley.
Okay. The next Silver Torch Award is one where I think the process of them becoming who they are today is astounding, for coming out of a quiet shell into a strong leader, taking on incredible challenges, and again being a quiet and dignified example for everyone. It's someone that we could trust to get it done, and trust to, and this is even more important, ask the right questions. I have a lot more to say, but not enough in this evening. So, Gianna Turk, congratulations. And the next Silver Torch Award, and the last of the evening, goes to what I would consider the best gamble I have ever made in MDI Drama. This is, some people take a while so you can get to know them, and other people, you just have this sense that they can rise, and they will get it, and that they will do that with their own style, their own artistic sense. And again, it's another person that I'm proud to call a partner on all these shows. Evelyn Zumwalt, you have just blown me away these past several years, and you deserve this. And all of your names will live on the walls of the theater. So congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Gray and Carlene, and congratulations to you five. So now, given the oddness of the year, we felt it meet to consider other commendations and acknowledgments that we might want to make. Unfortunately, the spring plays didn't happen, as we all know, and ordinarily, of course, we'd be awarding honors for that production. And so what we did is we decided to try out a couple new honors. We'd kicked around in the past the idea of offering a couple different honors, and we figured this was the year to give it a try. So our first acknowledgement is one that I thought was well in keeping with, I didn't come up with these ideas, by the way, I wish I were that smart, but well in keeping with the fact that our program is housed on an island, and it's the Rising Tide Lifts All Boats honor, and Carlene and I are awarding those. So Carlene, I believe you're first.
Yes. This is very appropriate for this person. They have consistently shown a positive, proactive attitude, regardless of what they've come up against. They have provided their peers with excellent teaching and guidance in the theater, acting as a mentor. They have persevered over time obstacles and have elevated everyone to an excellence in problem solving and theater technique. For setting the bar high, this award goes to Sage Dentremont.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that phrase, the rising tide lifts all boats, but, and I'm not sure who suggested it, if it was Chris.
Chris. Yep.
Chris did,
Oh,
Chris.
Gray
Oh,
did.
Gray did. And I just think it's so appropriate. And it's so true for the next person who we will honor. And so, just as I mentioned earlier, Desi is one of those people I could turn to, and if I needed help or advice, or just, can you please do this? This is a person who, much like Desi, is committed to what we do, committed to the program, committed to their fellow students and to the staff members. And I'm very happy to honor and as a person who makes everyone around them better, to honor Moxie McBriarty. Okay, congratulations. And now we're going to move on to another presentation. And this is called, and don't get creeped out by this, but it's called the Ghost Light Award. Yeah, I know it's kind of creepy. But we talked about when I first was involved with the drama program 22 years ago, and we did Bravos back then. We had what were called the Setting Sun Awards, and for a variety of reasons, we stopped awarding those quite a long time ago, probably about when the seniors were in diapers. I guess it was a long time ago, and but then there was a suggestion to honor students who, as it says here, senior actors or techs who have contributed broadly to MDI drama through their persistence and their presence. So it's like how we leave the theater and the ghost light is always on. It's there waiting for those next people to arrive. And I think it's an appropriate metaphor for these people. So Chris and Gray, if you would take it away, please.
The first Ghost Light Award is being presented to an actor whose presence has been felt in all of the musicals in the spring play, who is known for her absolutely beautiful dancing leaps, but also has shown particular grace in her acting style and a real comedic flair. This year in Mamma Mia, she really got to show off her comedic chops. It goes to Lily Crickler. The second Ghost Light Award is going to another actor who has consistently worked hard as a member of the ensemble with a gentle, quiet presence and a very nice singing voice, who's always a great pleasure to be around backstage and on stage, and who this year also got to show off her comedic chops, Camille Michaud. Our next Ghost Light Award goes to someone who really found her niche when she decided to take on a task that no one paid much attention to before her, and that is props. Her attention to detail, her calmness whenever you asked her, but what about? And her carrying on to solve problems and make things work, and also keeping the actors' hands off of those props. The Ghost Light Award goes to South Graves, who just rocked tech for all of us.
Okay, and we have one more of this series. This next one goes to someone who has done a little bit of both acting and tech, so one of our favorite tractors, and it's also the person that I turn to again and again and again when I look up at the sky, look up at the grid, and go, okay, how are we going to defy gravity for this show? That needs to go there. There's no mounting point there. How's this going to work? And it's... All right, Eric, you have been a rock for me for making sure that the rigging that we need to do gets done. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the time and the effort, and frankly the ingenuity that you have put into your persistent presence at tech and just making things work, working with us. And yeah, here's to defying gravity. Well done.
Thank you, Gray, and congratulations to you all. So now we have one more recognition, I believe, as I'm looking at the presentation, and special commendations, and that will be presented by Marilee.
To my delight, this past fall, someone magically appeared by my side, wanting to help with costuming. It's a pretty rare occurrence, and it's something that's very important to me. When somebody has initiative, creativity, an absolute desire to be helpful, friendly, relaxed, and take on a big challenge. I had a lot to do, and I appreciated so much that this person came by and put in all kinds of hours on her own, often staying up past midnight to complete and detailed, beautiful work for the young Donna, the young, what do they call it? The young,
Dynamos.
The
the
Dynamos?
what?
Dynamos.
The young what?
Dynamos.
Dynamos.
Dynamos. Thank you. Dynamos. And I'll be forever grateful to Geneva Stevens Rosa for all she did for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilee, and congratulations to me. So that is the portion, the Bravo portion of our presentation. And I always, the last few years, have had this picture of the staff together on the stage, mysteriously taken with Chris's camera, but Chris is in the photo. I've never figured that out, but anyway. But and this year, I think it was this year, one of my goals was, and not that I don't like this photo, it was to do another one, to update that. And well, we weren't around to get that done. It states, unfortunately. So maybe this fall. But I have to just quickly say that it's an honor and a privilege to work with these folks and to work with the other folks who work with us as well. Some of us have been doing this for longer than we'd like to admit. Others of us have been certainly doing it for a long time, and some of us not quite so long together. But this is a really dynamic group of people I'm able to work with, and you guys, students, really should consider yourself fortunate to have the opportunity to work with the folks that I get to work with as well. So thank you so much for another great year, albeit we only got to experience 2/3 of it, but it was pretty darn great nonetheless. So I'd like to move on. We had a little change of plan here. Oh, there, okay. And one other quick thing, and I'm not going to show this video simply because I think a lot of you guys have seen it, and if you haven't seen it, you can track it down. But I want to thank Chris publicly for putting together the amazing senior tribute videos. If you haven't seen them, you really should. They were really quite amazing. I will admit that more than one of them made me tear up. And I was thinking I would show the last curtain call, but we thought better of streaming the videos from my computer through this computer through that computer. And so but if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, either this one or the individual ones she did for, by the way, all of the seniors, which was no small feat. So videos for every single senior, hats for everyone in the one act. That's crazy. But thank you so much, Chris, for that, for your devotion to the program and to the people in it. So thank you. So I'm going to turn it over, and even though you can see the video link there, we're not going to watch the video from here. I'm going to turn it over to Desi, and I'm going to, so that we can watch the video, I'm simply going to say thank you guys for a great year. I hope you stick around and watch the video. It is choice. You're going to enjoy it. So thank you guys so much, and congratulations, and take it away, Desi.
Okay, so before Addie switches it over to the video, to make sure you can hear me, I don't know how this all works. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I want it to speak for itself for the most part. But I will say, after I did the video last year, I knew that this year I wanted to do something a little more formal, something that people outside of the production or the drama department would be able to follow and enjoy. And I was thinking about a more specific topic than just the whole drama department in general. And I thought about the one act, and I thought about how much personally I love the one act. And I know everybody else does, but I also think about how there's so many people involved in our theater department who aren't involved in one acts. And I thought about how one acts is so different than everything else we do, that I wanted to create something that kind of just gave you a sneak peek for those that were in it and they can enjoy it, and then for also those of you who aren't involved in the one act to kind of show you what we do, what our process is like, and how it's so different from our other productions. So I think that's all I have to say. There is a full, I say full length, a director's cut, my version of this film. So this film is about 35 minutes long. And there's also another one that is about 50 minutes long, if you would like to check that out afterwards as well. I didn't want to put you through all of that right now. So this is the one act process documentary.
Finally, we have the Class A state finalist, and that is Mount Desert.
First read-through that is during spring plays of the year before. And that's when the first really crazy ideas get thrown out, and people are like, oh, well, what if this person plays this, or what if we do this, and all of these just kind of amalgamous ideas that are not at all in any direction. That's where the director comes in later. So there's that first read-through, and then we go through the whole summer, go through musical, and then we do musical strike, and then we revisit all those ideas. And we start from a completely blank stage, and Carlene starts talking to Mr. Rush, and they start going back and forth and designing the set, and the set gets designed, and then redesigned, and then redesigned, and then redesigned one more time, and then we actually start building things.
It starts off, there are auditions. The auditions are selected, like there are cuts made. So it's one act auditions.
It is 2020. It's the first day, so it's group auditions. First day, it's group auditions. So you get to see all of the fresh meat. This is a big cast, and I was really worried we wouldn't have enough people coming out. Now that's what's starting to look like. There might be cuts. I'm feeling anxious only because like I'm not worried about getting in or not because I'm in it. But just having a larger cast, because the past few years has been like Mary Gerard was like 5, the past 2 years were like 9. This is like 15.
I think it's like exciting because we're doing this again and it's gonna be great, but also very nervous.
So we just finished day 1 of one act auditions, and today was the group audition. So we don't have like individual stuff until Wednesday. And we did some movement exercises to see how everyone would work as a team. It was fun. We did something called masking. So we all have masks on because wearing masks takes away our ability to mask or to act with facial expressions. We have to act with only our bodies. So that was really fun.
So cast list came out
sports, and it's not fun.
So at one point, we had to bring in one of our football coaches, Mark Shields, to help us out because this show is centered mainly around movements that emulate sports. He brought in like a bunch of footballs and hurdles and stuff and had us run drills. It was just a really interesting experience because, you know, mixing the two worlds of theater and sports is not something I ever thought I would be doing. But, you know, there we were, running drills on the Higgins Demas stage.
We are starting to do some sport things, and so yeah, it's kind of fun because these drama kids are making fun of sportos and are saying things like Anna was telling me, she's like, it's funny because they're 1-2 because they can't count higher than 2.
Like, we had to do football drills. I have never done something so active in my entire life.
I feel like so many people are going to get so injured doing this.
It's Wednesday.
Yes.
Saturday was off book day. Are you off book?
Ruining the game. I am.
I'm very proud of you, Zach.
Hey, Rex.
Yep.
Oh. Are you off book?
Next.
What? Next. Are you off book? Are you off book, Bryce?
Yes, I am.
How many lines do you have, Bryce?
Like 2.
Good job.
I think probably one of my first memories, I guess, was blocking the first scene. I remember us trying to figure out positioning and how are we going to enter and what's stylized and what's not and what's choreography should we use for this, and I remember us just brainstorming so much.
I was so happy that our choreography worked for the opening choreography, because we choreographed that once. It was a one-time thing, and then it of one rehearsal, and then it didn't really change. Maybe 2 rehearsals and then it didn't change. I don't remember. I think this has been said before, where it really just sort of set the stage for what was about to happen. So I'm really glad that that was as strong as it was and that worked as well as it was, and that I got to work so closely with Desi and Moxie, who I've been doing the one act with since sophomore year. And I don't know. I think we're pretty close. I'm just glad that I don't know, we got to do a thing together. Yeah. That was fun.
When Faye asked me to help her choreograph the ending scene, I was so excited. The moment Mr. Rush told me what plans he had for that final scene, I was immediately so excited for it. I thought it was going to be so cool. And from that moment, I was like, I want to do that. I want to help choreograph that. It was so much fun. My favorite part was working with Faye and coming up with creative, stylistic ways to kill people. I remember going off, whether it was the dance studio or the music room or Mr. Rush's classroom, and it was usually just me, Faye, and Logan, and working out this entire long choreographed piece, and it was just so much fun, and I'm so happy with the way that it turned out in the end. It's just something that I'm really proud of.
We're doing a run through for the tech. Them techies, yeah. So we're doing this so that the tech crew knows what's going on stage so that they can match it with their tech stuff.
Hey, what's going on out here?
We're painting. This is going to be the stadium side, and then the other side's going to be kitchen, I think. Actually, you want me to ask her? No. Yeah, what does ish.
We know okay, we'll need these basic pieces. What are the building blocks of our set going to be? And this year it was the scaffolding that we often use for pieces, so we had to pull all that down and get it all set up and sand the entire thing so that it would actually be the correct color, and getting all that painted. And throughout that whole process, the design crews, light, sound, video respectively, were working on starting the first drafts of reading through the script and getting their first ideas down and finding okay, what does Mr. Rush want for this part here? Oh, could we try this here? And this is kind of when the outrageous ideas start to get toned into something more manageable, and we start to decide, okay, this is gonna be this. And like Evelyn is up on the boards like putting up lights all the time while the set is getting built, lights are being decided, sound crew is recording things, videos, Laura and I sitting in a corner going, what can we do here? And reading through the script and trying things, and it's kind of this testing and honing in on what you want your final product to be. And then once you have your idea and you've got your set list of cues, you just go, and it's just go and get something done. And even if it's not a final product, just having something to test and test again and test again, until you finally get it down to the fine tune. Okay, this is what we want.
I'm Addie Brown, and I am one of the sound heads for this production. We need baby cries, so we have chickens, and we mostly use the big chickens, but these ones are really short and not great for recording that, so...
We're doing our first ever strike and setup shenanigans. It's not exactly a run through, but we've spent like 20 minutes on it so far, and we have to narrow it down to 5 minutes.
Yep. Setup and strike is always really stressful, especially when we first start doing it. Our setup has to be in under 5 minutes, and our strike has to be in under 5 minutes. And if it goes over, we get disqualified. One of the first things that happens is, well, usually it's Colleen and I think a few other people that plan out a whole list. And everybody has their particular job, and they plan it out all beforehand. So everybody has what pieces they're moving, and it's all in a very particular order to make it most efficient in loading the set on. It's very professional in the way that we do it, or we like to think that it's very professional. You start outside, the time starts, you go, you set up what you need to do, you go out, back out the door, and if you're done, if you don't have anything else to do, you stand, you go down the hallway, and you stand with your back to the wall, and you zip it.
So today is our first day in costume and makeup so that we can film some stuff for the projections, and I'm heading to the TV studio now to show you what everyone is doing.
Oh my gosh. I'm making the video for the stat cards and the plates because there's gonna be a shattered plate in this because everybody dies. I'm also not able to remember past the last 20 seconds, it seems like, so I don't know what I'm saying. I have, Haley should have another person next to her, but she does not. So we're running with what we have. These are just placeholders for the Saturday opening show.
Filming the videos for the stat cards was a interesting day because the first day that we did it, Colby Bennick was missing at Jazz Regionals or whatever it was, and we did not know until that day, and I was panicking, but we now have a great video out of that is Haley threatening to, what is it, like
Decapitate him.
Decapitate him, right.
Hey Colby, today was picture day, and you're at Jazz Districts. What the hell? What's with that, buddy? I have to take a picture on my own. As soon as you're back at 7 p.m., I will personally behead you in front of everyone. Bye, sweetie.
So much just absolutely random garbage going on in the background. That was probably the day that I was the most stressed out of the entire production, but it was also, looking back, one of the funniest days.
24-7, so the Lions seem to be running away with this one. Do you think a recovery is possible?
Well, I just don't know anymore. It's truly been a rough half for the Bears.
So we're going back to the TV studio because what happened?
Green screens and green clothes do not work together. So it would be like the husbands are invisible and I would kind of be, and that'd be weird. So we're going back.
Yeah, it should be.
Hi, what time is it?
8:04.
Who just showed up?
Makeup.
Colby Bennick, 17 minutes before it
Okay, it was Jazz Districts. I could not miss Jazz Districts.
We just did a Q to Q, which is the most intense thing ever.
No, quite.
I'm really feeling 100 today. I think tonight's performance is going to go really well. We're on our way to the gym to warm up with the rest of the cast.
Shash, shesh, shish, shosh, shush.
Okay, so today is our first performance. It's a local performance. I'm being quiet because we're just about to go on stage, and I have to put some lipstick on Faye. Because Faye is this banshee version. No, get over here. Let's see this whole look here.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Zach.
You can't put that in. Please don't. Please don't.
Why are you filming with Ben? Hi. So today is the day of our local performance. In a few minutes, we are going to run our show. We did a run through earlier today, and it was 39:02, which is pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about it because we were kind of tired. We weren't super high energy, slow, so things can tighten up. So we'll see how this one goes.
Where's Desiree? Desi, you gotta sit next.
So, one, you should be with your partner. Your play partner. Okay?
Show's over.
Bread cutting.
But other than that, it was good.
All right, Julia. Fortunately, you are now taller than Peter Benson. Congratulations.
Wow.
I know, right?
Today is Monday before it's like a week or something until our regional. You know, Wednesday we have our Wednesday we have the school performance. Friday we have regionals. So yeah, it's the Monday before all that.
And what did we do today?
Today we did our first really full run through with setup and strike, and we practiced setup a lot, and we did a little bit of strike. Strike seemed to go pretty smoothly, so we're a little bit more worried about setup at this point. We're always more worried about setup.
Are you tired?
Pretty tired. I really need chapstick.
How did you feel about today's rehearsal?
I think we did most of the bread cutting scene right, which is new and pretty cool, but I don't know for sure. So that'll depend on a lot.
None of us do.
No. Also, I think I did my monologue bad, but also better. So we got to figure that one out.
How is that possible?
Because I think I was more understandable, but I was much more boring. Oh?
Oh, good God, it's late.
I wanted to take the coffee, but no.
We are cleaning up after the advisory performance.
How did the advisory performance go?
Pretty well. Not bad.
How did the advisory performance go, Max?
It was good. The energy was better than rehearsals, but not quite as good as the premiere. But I think we messed up less than the premiere, which is nice.
How did I
laugh whenever I scratch my butt.
Today is a Thursday. It's the day before regionals, the first day of regionals. We have competition tomorrow. But today, because it's the last day of Halloween, and because we're all exhausted, we're just gonna get a whole freaking heaping ton of notes, and then we're gonna decorate our t-shirts.
It's time to talk about regionals.
Look what you've done.
I am cutting out the comment sheets. And so every school gets one, and it's basically so that everyone can tell them how good they did in their performance. It's really cool, and they're always so funny.
So right now we're in line for dinner at the first day of the One Act Regionals Festival. Yeah, it's a long line.
It's food time. It's food time. Time to socialize with the schools, and I've got a girlfriend. Not in public.
dinner. It's Friday night, and I think was it all of the schools?
Except for Bangor, I have no idea
All
where
of the
in the
schools
hell
except for
Bangor
Bangor were just in the cafeteria. We had dinner. It was delicious. Thank you to our volunteers. And now we have very little time to prep for the performance and like getting ready. It's about 5:50. We go on at 9, and right now we're going to curl Logan and I's hair. Yay!
We're getting ready to go to regionals, baby.
Time for playoffs. I say we break a leg out there. What do you say?
I say, let's put some hot gravy on those guys' poutine.
Let's turn the bird. Wembley on 3.
Melt their cheesecakes.
Turn that. 1, 2, 3. Wembley.
We're about to go kick butt. We're gonna take all our stuff into the gym. We're gonna warm up. We're gonna set it up in the hall. We're gonna set it up. We're gonna run the show. We're gonna take it down. It's gonna be great. That's what's going on.
How are you feeling?
And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty nervous.
Right before our regional performance, and me and Rex climbed up into our home, and we just sat there, and we were both so nervous, and like both of us could tell that the other one was nervous. We were kind of freaking out, and I don't remember who initiated it, but we just did a little hand squeeze, and that made it okay. That made the idea of going through this production, where it had taken both of us so long to learn our lines, it was just a signal to both of us that like we were gonna do it, and it was gonna be okay. We were gonna do a good job.
Hi, this was our last regionals, and Gray was talking about, because a bunch of freshmen were talking about how the adrenaline rush of doing one act is literally like nothing else. There is no drug that matches it, and the feeling of the last show is so much worse. Only do it once.
You can attest to this. This happened as soon as we got out, and they announced that our strike was under 4 minutes. So it's funny because Ruby did the same thing that I did. She was shedding tears. Her makeup stayed perfect. I guess I'm just a diva. I think that's it. I think I just need the attention.
How was our show, Eva?
Oh, it was so good. It was so much fun, and I can't believe it's over. Hopefully it's not over. It's not over. Yeah, but it's like, that was it.
What's going on?
Lunch. We're eating. It is, I'm not wearing my watch. It's 10:56 a.m. Festival day 2. We're having lunch before the afternoon sessions of the plays. We performed last night, so we don't have to do anything today but watch and participate in the workshops later. And it's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Tech Olympics is a thing where the tech does things and is timed.
Tech Olympics is a thing we do every year for during the regionals. That's basically relay race of a bunch of tech things. So everyone starts at the back of the house. You have 2 teams going at once, and you're being timed. 2 teams at the back. They have a torch, and they're basically trying to just finish all the tasks as quick as possible. And so they start at the back, and then you have your start. So you're just running down the aisle. Box building is first. So you had 4 pieces of, it was like 2x4, I think. And then you have a electric screwdriver, and you're basically just trying to build like a square. Then it's lights, I think. You have to focus a light, put a filter / gobo in. I don't know. I'm sorry. And then crop it. I guess that's how you would consider basically. Crop it into the shape that's taped onto the wall. And then it's coiling. It's coil cord, and then It's knot tying, so you have 3 or 4 knots that you have to just do. There's another category that's the tape measure, where basically you just like sit or stand, you just try and get a tape measure as tall as you can get it, without it like breaking, like kind of like bending, without it bending. And so Tech Olympics is honestly probably the loudest part of regionals. Because you had people cheering for their own team, and then you have people cheering for other teams when their team wasn't like going. I don't think there was like anyone in that room whose hands were not sore and their voices did not hurt at least a little bit by the end of it.
F-I-G-H-E! 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 Fight, fight, fight!
Am I a sore loser?
The announcer, hashtag Ruby Mahoney.
When at regionals, my name got called for all festival cast, I walked up to the stage and I turned around and I pointed at Rex and I was like, you're next. They can't call one of us and not the other because like we're like the same entity at, like in this show. And he looked back at me and he was like clapping and he was like, yeah, no, but good for you, like great. So then when like 6 or 7 people later, Rex's name got called, it was such an amazing moment because I think I started screaming like, I told you so! He ran up and like shook everyone's hands. And then like he ran up to me and we like gave each other a huge hug. I was so happy in that moment, for both of us. I remember hearing the entire audience just be like, aww. It was just like everything that we'd worked really hard for, like we were both getting celebrated for that, and it was like our moment, and that was really great.
Moxie McBride, Anna Redgate, and Desiree Zayman.
Well, what was our reaction when they announced that the 3 of us were given official commendation? I was like, heck yeah, we deserve it.
To get recognized for that from the judges was really cool. Sick.
For a beautiful day in November on the banks of the greatest of the Great Lakes. Outstanding set construction, the MDI construction crew.
Oh, you get up there!
Guys, you're Piper Sharon.
This year, especially for video, was a lot of teamwork, and Laura and I building off of each other's strengths.
This production was definitely like the first time I've ever felt proud of my work in video.
Finally, we have the Class A state finalist. That is Mount Desert Island.
When it was announced that we got first place in Class A, it was probably the happiest I've ever felt in my entire life. It just, there was such a wave of emotion that just came over me of like, it all paid off. All of the work that I and the rest of the people on the tech crew and all the actors, all of them, all the work that they did came as, and it was so rewarding. I don't know how to speak when I talk about it because it's just so, just like I said, the happiest I felt in my entire life. And I can say that confidently.
When we won regionals, I don't know, man, it was like the best serotonin high that has ever happened to me. I was freaking out. Those of us that had been in Thugs also, it didn't feel like we were just winning with this production. It felt like 2 years of hard work had amounted to this.
Winning regionals was great because it felt like we were coming back from something that wasn't quite as good. Because I mean, the Thugs was definitely an experience, but being able to come back and be like, yeah, no, look, we're going to States again. Like, look, we came back and we've got a great show and we have something that is States worthy was a wonderful feeling.
This is gonna sound cocky, but I kind of was expecting it. It's still like that rush of, I don't know, like you still get excited about it and you're not like chill and calm about it because it's still that like reassuring, like you did it and you won and like you were good enough or something like that. I was really happy. I was really relieved. I was really glad that I was gonna be able to go to States again with this group of people and like perform again with this group of people because I love this show so much.
I was pretty happy about that. I mean, secretly I kind of knew you were gonna win just by seeing some of the. I like the earnest one, but by seeing the competition, I might be a little biased, but from the competition, I had a sneaking suspicion we were gonna win, so I was happy about that, and then so I was pretty happy. I was feeling pretty good until it got canceled, and obviously I wasn't happy about that because it was this thing that was making me happy, and now it wouldn't be anymore because it wasn't a thing anymore.
We got there, and we won regionals, and we were going to States, and that was when I was like, you know what? Like, we can do it. We can do it. If we got past regionals, we're going on a bus, we're going to States, we're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be wonderful. But of course I don't know what States are like for 1X because I haven't gone yet. And once I found out that States was canceled, I was really, really sad about it. Like, not only because I was really excited for going, but again, I wanted to win for the seniors and get that 2020 little embroidery thing.
Hey, by the way, States is closed and we can't go there because gatherings of 150 people due to Corona. And so at first I didn't really feel anything. I was kind of just numb, I guess. Kind of like, wait, what? So it hadn't quite hit me. I was more or less just kind of going by and by. I guess it hasn't been until recently that I've been starting to feel it all. Like, oh gosh, this is my last year, and I never really got to finish it. Well, at least not in the way I'd predicted.
When I found out that States was canceled, I was really, at first I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I assumed that this was probably going to happen when Mr. Rush shot up, but like, we need to talk. I'm like, I'm going to look it up right now so that I don't get surprised and cry in front of everybody. Like, I'm just going to figure it out. Block D, he sent out like this Facebook, or he made a Facebook post being like, we need to meet, and like he sent out an email. And I think the worst part of that night, or like that afternoon, was that we found out that it was canceled and then we had to go straight to show choir. Like, we didn't get to have a rehearsal or a time just to be with those people again, and we never got another rehearsal just to perform again with each other and run through that show and like just be together.
I still haven't ever been to States. And that was my second 1X. And I felt like everyone had worked so hard for 2 years. And there's also just the fact that I wanted to go to States and I wanted to win States. I knew that this production could win States. I'd never been to States, but I felt it. I felt the energy of everyone in it. That thing that Mr. Rush talks about, where everything just sort of like comes together, and everyone like keys in and knows that had happened.
I was late to the announcement that States was canceled, and the moment of walking into the theater and just going, this isn't right, there's something is wrong, something deeply wrong has happened, and walking down and Mr. Rush standing in front of everybody, and just there's this like somber atmosphere, and of course I was seeing everybody from behind, but as I got closer I realized that like people were crying, and it was just kind of this like pit of my stomach. Oh, this is real. Like, oh, this is coming. This is a big thing that's about to change our entire world.
When I think about next year and like what it's going to be like, it feels weird to think about since so much of the program is leaving, and it's hard not to imagine the auditorium and the hallways feeling kind of empty. But I'm really, really excited for next year, and I hope that whatever we do, it's something that you guys can see photos of or see in person or see a video of and think, yeah, they did good.
I was really sad knowing that I wouldn't be able to perform with this year's seniors again, because I'm really going to miss them next year. It's going to be so weird to not have Zach being annoying and Raul taking charge and Desi being weird and jumping on people and Anna just doing her own little dance in the corner. And having the text. So, yeah. Oh, and Julia, I'm gonna miss Julia. Having Julia sit there in rehearsals and just be like, oh my god, move on. Yeah. I'm really gonna miss the seniors.
1X. When I think about it, it really was the best experience for me in my first year of high school, because I just found, like, that's where I found my people. Like, I loved the musical, I loved show choir. Show choir is amazing too, but in 1X, it's just something else. I don't really know how to explain the way it makes me feel, but it's just like such a good feeling.
Being in MDI Drama, feeling like part of a team and feeling like I could be someone who other people could count on, counting on other people, and feeling like some people cared about me and wanted to be around me, wanted to work with me. It was so incredible, and it was something I never thought that I would get to experience, and I'll always be grateful for all of you for giving me something I never thought I'd have.